Hello, everyone. We're still going on with the Freelancers Summit 2023. And with me here, I have one of our amazing advisors and colleagues, Alex Carmen. She has been super supportive from day one. And this is now, the third annual Freelancers Summit. And our theme this year is freelancing, entrepreneurship, and beyond. And, within entrepreneurship, we want to talk about what you should include in your pitch, how to pitch, things that help investors understand your business better. And Alex is here to help us with that. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Thanks for that introduction. Pleased to be here, and hope everyone's enjoying the summit. I know it's been a lot of hard work going into building it, and I think it's been going well for the last few years. So thank you for having me. So yeah, as Tangai mentioned, I will be sharing with you all what investors want to see in your pitch. So a little bit about myself. I'm Alex Carmen. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York. I'm currently a strategic partnership manager at Toast, point of sale and all-in-one restaurant platform. And I'm also a venture partner at Going VC Partners and an advisor for AfroBlocks. Prior, I was an account executive at IBM working in our data analytics, data governance and privacy space. And from there went to MuleSoft, which was a Salesforce acquisition, doing customer success, working in banking, some of our retail and our social impact nonprofit. So basically these days, about 80% of my week is spent diligencing startups, whether that's for investment opportunities or for partnership opportunities. I am constantly reviewing pitch decks, being pitched, and interacting with founders. So wanted to share a little bit of knowledge there. So myself, like many other investors, we see hundreds and some thousands of pitches in a year. And having that information available that they need to see, easily accessible and able to be reviewed, helps them do their due diligence. So it mitigates the back and forth. And by being able to have that information quickly, it helps them move quickly through the process. And with those numbers, as I mentioned, hundreds of thousands of pitches reviewed a year, fewer than it's more likely to get into Harvard than it is to get funded. So just to give you, hopefully not deter you, but just give context as to how important it is to have that information. Also to align your pitch to VCs that are aligned to where your business is. So to start, investors want to understand your product. What challenge in the industry is your product uniquely addressing? We want to understand not too much of the technical details, but how is it unique? Are you all working at the cutting edge of data science? Is there unique Web3 technology? That's some of the cutting edge, but also there's some marketplace technology, but really understand the technical aspect of how you are addressing a challenge in the market. And that leads into the business model. So business model and revenue model are often used interchangeably, but they are different. So think of the business model as how you highlight the value your company brings to the market. So what is it that you're uniquely addressing through your startup? And the revenue model is how you generate revenue through the value that you created. So think of the business model as kind of an overarching umbrella and the revenue model as a facet under it. So I'm sure a lot of founders have seen the business model canvas. This is like the 101 of building a startup, but I think that this is a really good place to start and to think about all the different areas that you should at least have a point of view. Your business model is going to evolve, it's going to breathe over the years, but it's important to have a strong point of view as you start. And like many startups, they start off addressing a very narrow market. Sometimes they grow as they get more investment, as they get more users, they're able to invest and build a stronger, wider market share. But by having this really focused point of view and area of the market that you want to address really helps investors understand that you understand where you want to address in the market uniquely. And as you see here, the revenue streams, revenue model is a facet within the broader business model canvas. But before you're pitching any startups, you definitely want to have a strong position, understand your business model, understand which customer segment you're after, what channels you're going to get it. And then the key is like your value prop. How are you generating value uniquely that other organizations, other startups aren't doing? So to that point, another key attribute you want to see in pitches is your traction. We want to understand how many users are currently on your platform, but also how did you get them? Was it word of mouth? Was it digital marketing? Was it events? Do you have a strong sales team? How are you getting users to your platform? And another aspect that a lot of founders start off with is a freemium model. So, okay, freemium models might be to get users originally on the platform, but how are you converting them to paid? And then if you are generating revenue, we want to see that, and we want to see how much you're generating and the breakdown of these different revenue models to see which areas you're seeing a lot of success in. And maybe there's higher volume, but less money in certain areas where you're getting a lot of users, but maybe they're not using a lot. And then other areas where you have less users, but they're generating a ton of revenue. We want to see that breakdown and where a lot of your revenue is coming from and how it balances. And this leads a little bit into, we want to understand your historical data. So if you had peaks of users, we want to see, okay, what were the attributes of that? Did you all do a massive marketing campaign that brought in a generous amount of users? And also, did those users generate a lot of revenue in turn? And then another aspect is the cost. So as I mentioned, if I'm continuing this marketing campaign, was the marketing campaign so expensive? Did you get your ROI on it? Understanding some of your historical data helps founders have a point of view as to what future projections they can expect. Now, this isn't a prophecy. We don't expect this information to be 100% accurate, but it is important to have a point of view on your business and how you're doing in the market. I don't see a ton of financial models in pitches, but it is very impressive because it shows a founder really understands their business and they're able to understand what are the factors that are driving their success rather than just guessing. It gives a more focused point of view and data to support it. And then lastly, we want to see how much money you're raising. I think that's sometimes pitches don't always have a raise, and sometimes it's a little bit more informal. But if you are raising, we want to know, and we want to know how much you're raising and what your post-money valuation is and what series you are. So I think this is when I mentioned earlier on that we really want to be aligned to what series you're working in, what markets, the technology. Having this information really helps investors understand, are you a good match for them? And I think just as much as investors are looking to see if they're a good fit for certain startups, they want you to be doing the proper diligence as well. Is there, advisors that are really strong in a domain expertise that would benefit? Is it their technology? Like what that you are as a founder really interested in, and making sure that you're aligned. So if you're an early stage startup looking for investment at a later stage venture firm, that's not necessarily a good fit. If you're focused on the US and maybe the venture firm is focused on emerging markets, it might not be a good fit. So making sure there's alignment there and being transparent about what you're looking to do, and also, how you plan to deploy those funds when you've received it. And then also timing. I think that's very important to make sure you all are aligned to the right timeline. And if there's any specific deadlines on when you're looking to close, make sure that's articulated so everyone knows what timeline they're working against. So that's some of the things that venture capitalists, investors want to see in your pitch decks. Thank you so much for having me at the Freelancer Summit. It's been a pleasure. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Alex Carmen, and I'm also a Carmen _ on Twitter. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alex. That was super helpful information. Especially for first-time founders, for founders who've made it before. But all of that information is something that is very easy to ignore, or to just assume that investors don't want to invest in my company. But then it's because you're not really communicating what your company is doing, how much you're raising, and that's true. I've seen pitch decks that don't have the amount of how much someone is raising. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming through from New York. You're in New York, right?
Absolutely, still here.
Perfect. Talk soon. Bye.
All right, thanks for having me.
Sure.